scoping review, which gives you all the literature in the world. So if you need something like that to impress some people to give you more money for your decentralized training, I can happily send it to you. So this is the team. I can go to the next one. So what did we do? We did where's that little thing? We did the scoping review about 2 years ago. Is that the red? Yeah. Then we had the 2015 national workshop. Cape Town, we had one before the SAI conference in Port Elizabeth in 2016. This one was medical, this one was interprofessional. Then we did a small Delphi survey from enabling factors that we developed. From that, we got finalized the enabling factors. Then we took all this stuff and took a couple of clever people in the room trying to make sense of it. Then we had the 2017 national workshop in Potchefstroom, and at the moment we're synthesizing the findings, and we have a framework. Right? So the scoping review results, just briefly, it's 4 areas to say that scoping review is about what works best in decentralized training. So what are the aspects that you must look at, and that's about the training environment, that is where you work each and every day. The student, there's issues around students. The 2 students in the room will know that, about selection, the learning experience, what's the implications for the curriculum. We had the workshop the end of last year, Dr. Gottlieb, about the curriculum, the outcomes and the assessment. Then leadership and governance we found is one of the most important factors in decentralized learning. And then, of course, which people forget is the role of community, how important it is actually for immersion in the community, have partnerships with the community, to be socially accountable, that what we train is actually making a difference for the community. So, okay, the next one, I'm just running through this. So then there was 5 principles identified, and the one is that we need to have a shared vision, and everybody in this room already has a shared vision around decentralized training, the model for training. So if you want to talk about a transformative model that changed students' lives, that's true. You presented last year to the funders very eloquently about how they changed your life. So social accountability, the training model must make a difference to the community. It doesn't help if we teach students about something which is not relevant for our communities. Then responsive adaptability, things happen in our lives we cannot control. We need to understand that we can adapt and we can be responsive. That actually gives a lot of flexibility. People say, you can't send students, there's not a doctor there. We make a plan. There is something that you can do. Then the thing of continuity is perhaps the biggest thing in decentralized training. And there again, I want to say this, and I've said it before, Dr. Gottlieb, you know that Walter Sisulu University is really the front runner in this sense, where they're sending students for, how many weeks is that? 5 months? 20 weeks. The continuity of training they have shown is one of the most significant factors of good training. You know these students that come for a week and they go away and they come, then others come. You don't learn much. So continuity is most important. So if you can go back to your universities or your people and say continue. And then of course the integration, it's the integration between professions, and it's the integration between levels of care and a whole lot of other things that I've actually got to remember now. I must remember that. Okay, so those principles. So the framework also identified all the role players, which is the health services. Many of you come from there. Training institutions, we've got 5 universities here to present it today. The regulatory bodies, professional associations, and then communities. And communities we mean functional and geographical, which means the geographical communities, but also functional communities, like say, Fudisa Fitzia. Right, so that's, okay, then the next slide. Okay, you just can go through that. And in the middle, this means relationships, and a shared vision. Okay, and I think the next one.
thing is
So
going.
there's a square.
Turn it on again.
Yeah, it's going blue. There's a square thing at the bottom there for or the next presenters don't press that because then this happens. Okay, but let me talk. So the framework then is the stakeholders in the inside. Then the ring, that green ring that flashed quickly, that's the 5 principles that surround that, which I've already discussed with you. And then right in the middle is the issue about relationships, and then the last that comes up is 5 categories. And in those 5 categories, we've developed 47 enabling factors. So one would be the training environment. So what we've developed through this process is for the training environment, enabling factors. Yeah, okay, now I'm going to press the red one, that's it. So if you then, say at Walter Sisulu University, you have a site in Butterworth, then you can sit with Butterworth and go through these enabling factors and see what is working for, what more do you need, or how is it working for you. So the idea from this framework is that you can use it to optimize or make your decentralized training effective. So it's quite a bit of a tool, but it's not a checklist. We feel that you actually need to sit with your team and go through it. We try to develop it as a checklist, but it doesn't actually work like that. So that, and then the other 5 is in, you will recognize it as leadership and governance again. So there's enabling factors for leadership and governance and decentralized training that you can use in your site or your institution or wherever to see, are you doing the right thing. Then there's one for students. Students might be interested in that. Enabling factors for students in a decentralized training environment. There's the curriculum, how should the curriculum be, how should the curriculum be changed. We talked at the curriculum workshop. And then there's the role of community. And then in the middle, in the heart, is the relationships. If you don't have relationships, and that's why meetings like this is important, then none of this will happen. So this is forgive me for saying, this is the academic model framework for decentralized training in the health professions in South Africa, which we are taking to a national level and really trying the training institutions to buy into this. And that's for all health professions. We're going to work with the nurses also using this model. So I just wanted to give you that background, so if we talk about the framework again, you have some idea of it. Okay, so that's my quick story. Any comments or questions?